the negative attitudes that are holding us back as Nigerians. We all know these behaviors exist, but today we are going to break them down. We'll be discussing how they frustrate us, our desires, and what we fear if we don't change. Also in this video, I will share solutions on how we can do better. Now let's get right into it. First off is a common issue we all joke about: punctuality. We call it Nigerian time, but let's be honest, this habit frustrates us all. For example, when meetings or when an event is supposed to start, let's say 2 o'clock, and people show up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they call it Nigerian time, they call it African time. This frustrates the hell out of me. And funny enough, some Nigerians I know do this. They keep this Nigerian time, this African time, even in the UK. It's quite funny, at the same time annoying when you see people do this. What happens to the saying that when you go to Rome, you behave like the Romans? You know, they take their bad behavior abroad. Can you imagine this? To be honest, this disrupts business. It just causes chaos, and as far as I'm concerned, it ruins trust. Now let's talk about the second one. We face this in almost every aspect of our lives here in Nigeria, and that's a big one for me: dishonesty. We face this whilst doing business. We face this whilst talking to people, trying to get information from people. We face this in almost everything that we do here in Nigeria. Let me give you an instance. I know a family that relocated to Nigeria from the UK. And as we speak, this lady has taken her children and family back to the UK. One of her reasons were that she couldn't stand the dishonesty from people. This was really frustrating for her. You can't take people by their words. You can't hold people's words. Like somebody tells you something, you can't hold them by their words. It's really annoying and frustrating. From inflating prices to delivering less than promise, dishonest practice are killing the trust in our system. It's almost like it's making you not live life to the fullest because you don't trust what the next person is telling you to be truth. That is a big challenge, and we really need to stop it because it frustrates honest business people who wants to play fair. We want to trust that when someone says they would deliver, they mean it, but the fear is real. If dishonesty continues, people will look elsewhere, avoiding local businesses altogether. We already see Nigerians choose foreign services over their own because of the trust issues that they have. We can change that by doing business with integrity. Now let's talk about the next one. This one is the entitlement mentality. I'm sure we all have experienced this at some point in our lives. There's this growing attitude where people expect success without putting in the necessary work. We see this with family and friends. Your friend can just call you up and say, oh, I need this money for this, I need this money for this, and they expect you to give them because you are their friends and because they feel you have it and they don't. So for that reason, they're entitled to the money they're asking you for, or they're entitled to the favor they're asking you for. This is a very wrong mindset, and we need to look into it. We need to start thinking things differently and acting right. We also see this in the workspace. People will put in an application and they will tell themselves, I deserve this position and I'm going to get this position because of who I know. Like they are very, very sure they're going to get it because of who they know. They're not even talking or thinking about working hard to earn it. For me, it's frustrating because I believe it's rewarding laziness instead of your hard work and the efforts that you put into something. We all desire a system where effort and skills are rewarded. The entitlement will lead to mediocrity. If everyone expects success handed to them, we will all miss out on the innovations and progress that comes from true hard work. Now let's shift the narrative and encourage people to earn their success, not demand it. This next one I am about to talk about cuts deep, really, really deep, and this one is tribalism and favoritism. We see how this plays out almost every day. We all see how people are treated differently because of their tribe or connections. This really frustrates those who believe in fairness and merit. Our desire is clear: unity and equal treatment for all. We dream of a Nigeria where tribe or family name doesn't determine your future, but the fear is that tribalism will continue to divide us, weaken our nation from the inside. We have to rise above this divide and start seeing ourselves as Nigerians first, and this is the only way we will progress together. This one is a big one for me because I see people around, especially here in Lagos, I see people don't take this so seriously the way I do, but it's a very big one to me and it's very frustrating. The customer service here in Lagos is nothing to write home about. Whether it's in the restaurants, in workplaces like a business center, or even government offices, the lack of respect for customers is really like, I just feel like holding somebody sometimes and just give them a little shake just to bring them back to their senses so that they can act human. I know I speak for many people. We want to feel value when we spend our money. what you get is flimsy and nothing to write home about. Sometimes they don't keep eye contact, they talk to you with nonchalant attitude, and it really does my head in. Again, our desire is clear. We want quality service where customers are treated with respect and care. The fear is that if poor customer services continues, people will take their money elsewhere and Nigerian businesses will suffer. We can all do better by putting our customers first. A happy customer means a loyal customer, and that means they are going to patronize you again and again, which means your business will be thriving and you'll be successful in your business. And that means success for everyone. The next one is gossip and backstabbing. It's now common to speak about somebody behind their back, and most times the information we're sharing, what we're talking about, is not the true version of the event, it's not the true version of that person. It's almost like it's normal these days to do this, and this is frustrating for me. Again, some Nigerians I know, whilst living in England, took this bad attitude with them to England. One of them would be when I was opening my business, whilst I was in the process, my vision and everything, and I still let them know when I was opening the business. We needed to see what went down. I've never seen that version of backstabbing and gossip in my life until I started doing the things I was doing. Achieving things I was achieving whilst in England and in the midst of fellow Nigerians. That experience was not a good one. The toxicity is just too much. They are toxic in the way they talk. The lies they spread about you, talking about things like, oh, who does she think she is? Why does she think she's better than us? Why is she doing that? Why is she not doing this? There are so many things that they would do. If you're in a gathering and somehow you meet a new person and they're there, they will take it as their problem. It's almost like they will take it upon themselves to talk bad about you behind your back, obviously, to this new person, to this new friend you've made, and they will just go all out and say all manner of things just to make sure that they rubbish your reputation and people don't see any good thing in you. But some good people don't fall for this. They know the truth and they can read in between the lines, and most times they come back and tell me these things. So yeah, what we desire is trust. We want a relationship built on loyalty and honesty, but the fear is that this culture of gossip will continue to poison our friendships, workplace, and families. Instead of tearing each other down, we should be lifting each other up. After all, a community is only as strong as its trust. Have you ever felt like people don't respect your boundaries? Yeah, I'm talking about this one. Lack of respect for boundaries. Whether it's a family friend or a co-worker, people can be very quick to cross personal lines without even considering your needs. What our desire would be is to have mutual respect. We all want to have our space, time and feelings to be respected. But the fear is that if the boundaries are not honored, relationship will become strained. We can easily avoid this by learning to ask for permission and respecting each other's personal limits. It's all about understanding and empathy. Okay, let's talk about this one. I'm sure every Nigerian have experienced this at some point in their lives: bribery and corruption. From getting contracts to avoiding traffic fines, this culture of bribery and corruption has really eaten deeply. It's frustrating because it rewards corruption and it punishes honesty. We all desire a fair system where hard work and merit leads to success, not under the table deals. But the fear is that if this culture of bribery and cutting corners continues, we risk collapsing our institutions from the inside out. Corruption erodes trust, and without trust, there's no progress. We need to stand up for fairness and reject these dangerous shortcuts. This next one is tough. It is cynicism and lack of patriotism. Many Nigerians have lost hope in the country, and you don't blame them for this. We've become cynical, believing that nothing good can ever come out of Nigeria. And again, I don't blame people for thinking this way. People believe that nothing will change, the corruption is too deep, our leaders don't care. It's frustrating for those who still believe in the potential of our country. The desire here is for national pride and optimism. We want to believe in our country's potential. The fear is that if we give in to cynicism, we will never achieve the greatness we are capable of. We need to reignite our patriotism and start working for a better Nigeria. It starts with us, and it starts with hope. Finally, quick judgments. I have seen this a lot. People judge you, like in Nigeria, they judge you without even knowing the full story. That is just how it works here. People are quick to criticize you and judge you based on your appearance, your background, the rumors they've heard about you, and it frustrates those who are trying to live their truth. I need us to embrace more of empathy and understanding. We want to create a culture where we listen before we judge, but the fear is that if we keep jumping to conclusion, we will create a society where misunderstanding and mistrust rule. Let's take a moment to pause, listen and understand before we can cast judgment. It could change everything. So there you have it. 10 bad attitudes that is holding us back as Nigerians. But the good news is each one of us, every one of us can change it if we decide to do better. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to do the needful. Like, comment and subscribe. I will see you again in my next video. Bye bye.